Legend of War here, and today we've got a one-man Doomstack video featuring Karl Franz. So this player has basically perfected Karl Franz, but he actually has made one tiny little mistake. So what I want to do here is read out the email and then just explain what the mistake is. It's very easily fixed though. So he says, "Hi Legend, I set up a battle and it turned out to be surprisingly difficult as the enemy has loads of strong missile units with single entities. So if you choose to feature this battle, I recommend to be careful as even with 90% ward save and regen, they can still kill Karl. Anyway, I hope this can make for a good video. About the campaign, I was doing a no defeat campaign as Gelt, and because I can't help myself, I decided to turn Karl into the ultimate emperor of the world. This was surprisingly difficult because apparently the Empire can't pick up the Sword of Cain from the Shrine of Cain. Only elves can. No other factions can. So they're basically Dark Elves, High Elves, and Wood Elves can pick up the Sword of Cain. The only other way for other factions to get the Sword of Cain is to take it off whoever took it off the Elves, basically. Or take it off the Elves. But yeah, that's how you do it. So I had to revive a listener and gift it to him so he could pick it up instead. Yeah, well, that's how you do it. After which I promptly killed him. However, this was only half the problems since a lot of the other legendary lords with useful defeat traits already died. Krokgar, Imrig, Vlad, Isabella. So I had to revive them as well. Okay, well, in regard to Isabella's defeat trait, you have to revive Vlad anyway in order to bring her back as a lord. So I just had to do that one. This, however, is very difficult to do in a zero defeat campaign, mostly because rebellions suck and you will lose to garrisons, but I came up with what I believe to be a creative solution. I took the settlement where they revive, abandoned it, resettled it the following turn, then left it as a ruin and raided it until their lords come back. I'm missing a few traits like Miao Ying or Village for some bonus melee, however, Karl is already at the trait limit. Okay, so that's a good way of going about it, but there's another trick that you can do for reviving lords. You cause the revolt in your own region, and then you gift that region the moment that, the turn that they're going to attack to a faction of a different race. It wipes out the garrison completely, leaves it completely empty. Just try not to give it to a major faction, and then they'll just walk in and retake the settlement, so that way you don't suffer a defeat. So if we have a look over here, we can see that you do indeed have a no defeat campaign, and you fought a lot of battles, so you've been proactive in the campaign. More so than that Torx campaign. Okay, so looking at Karl Franz here, what do we got? Got Trickster's Helm, Sword of Cain dominating, the Silver Seal, and the Burning Books of Khorne. So all of that added together is giving us 90% ward save. Cool. You don't actually really need to even do the defeat traits these days, apart from Isabella, I suppose. That is actually important with Karl Franz. He's not going to get regeneration any other way, apart from having a life wizard attached to the army. So that was the only one I guess you really needed, apart from, I mean, getting additional stats at this point is not essential. Now, one of the big problems that you stated was that they've got loads of missile units and single entities. So the problem here that what you've done is that you're on Deathclaw. I reckon this will be way easier if we go on foot. Now, the problem with this is that when you switch your mount, when you've got a lot of like hit point bonuses, which you've got heaps because you've also got the Nemesis Crown on top of this, so I don't know, it's a lot. You lose a ton of health when that happens, relative to how much hit points you've actually increased. So based on what I can see here, I'm guessing we're going to lose about 50% of our hit points when I switch this over. Yep, but there's a little trick to this as well. It actually can be somewhat mitigated if we just save and load. So, alright, okay. Because you're actually playing a legendary difficulty. So what we do then is we save it by doing this, and then we just load the game this way. And what'll happen is, because the game doesn't save your hit points correctly when you've got huge amounts of hit point boosts, we'll actually have more health. We'll actually heal Karl Franz by doing this. It's stupid. It won't heal him fully, but it will heal a portion of his health each time that we do this. So I'd have to, on legendary difficulty, I have to back off, attack him again so that it saves the game. But you'll notice here now that Karl Franz has recovered a bunch of health. Now, this only works when you've got a huge amount of hit point increase. So once again, we can see what our health is at 6117. He's on foot now. He gained about 1,000 extra health, 1,500 extra health or something. So we do this again, and you'll notice basically we'll get closer and closer to full because it heals a percentage of his remaining health. So it's just like we got bugged, but then we can kind of reverse it a little bit with this other bug. Yeah, Warhammer 3, it's filled with bugs. Who would have guessed? So after this load here, we'll get back into it and actually fight the battle that way. But yeah, you can do this in your like non-one-man Doomstack campaigns, especially with Throt the Unclean, since he increases the hit points of all of his characters faction-wide. If you fight a battle and all of your characters are very badly damaged, just quick save, load, and then they'll be healed a little bit, and then quick save again, and then load, and they'll be healed a little bit. But they'll never get back to full health, that way at least. So you can see here, we recovered about 900 health this time. So I think the amount of health that you heal is relative to the percentage bonus that you got. So I think based on what we're seeing here, Karl Franz's health has probably been increased by 60% at least. So that means that every time that we save and load, it'll recover 60% of the damage that he's received. Anyway, let's jump in here now. I'll put this in here, and we're on max battle difficulty. Yep. And let's see if I was right about this being actually a piece of piss by just being on foot. Because yeah, the problem with Deathclaw is that it's big, and you've got the Nemesis Crown. The thing is with the Nemesis Crown is that the Mortis Engine effect of it is what just absolutely obliterates everything. Obviously, you've got the Sword of Cain as well, which you primarily need that for the ward save. I don't think you're going to be able to get Karl Franz to 90% ward save without it. Okay, so you didn't get any of the physical defeat traits, but that's okay because we don't need it. We're at our max max resistance, yeah. But yeah, the single entities will still be quite a bit of a problem because of... They're still going to shoot at us. It's just going to be harder for them to hit us. Haven't even got through our barrier yet. Oh my god, I can barely even get there. Jeez. Yeah, no joke.
Yes, take the ground. Moving now.
The thing is, the closer we get, the more accurate they're going to be as well. Okay, if I pop this down, that should get them to rampage towards us.
Moving out. Heading out. Sigma.
And now if they want to shoot at us, they're going to inflict huge amounts of friendly fire, so that's up to them now. But they're most likely just going to come in and fight. See, the mounts that you get in this game aren't always just a straight up upgrade. The bigger they are, the more vulnerable they are to missiles and being surrounded by loads of anti-large infantry. But it gives you speed, and to some degree you've got the ability to like push your way through battles. So you don't get bogged down too often. So once we're in the fight here with Karl Franz like this, we can't get out of it now, so we just have to finish the battle this way. But we should be fine, because they can't shoot us now. So we should get Karl Franz to try to focus as much as possible on the Terracotta Sentinels, because the Mortis Engine effect is going to be not that effective on them. So their melee attack being 69, and our melee defense being 97, leads to us... It seems... They've got a fairly low chance of actually hitting us in melee. Thing is, Karl Franz is going to be constantly disrupted. So I probably could have gone on foot, which leads to less disruption. But getting knocked down on the ground isn't necessarily that bad, since you're actually invincible while you're on the ground. And we still inflict the Mortis Engine effect.
The Empire endures.
So yeah, the best one-man Doomstacks are actually really small, because they're just so hard to kill. Again, this is what makes Malice Darkblade such a dangerous one-man Doomstack, because whether he's on foot or on spite, he's still actually quite small. I don't need to do that, I guess. And then, of course, he's got 2 loads of health, if you decide to transform into Sarkhan. So yeah, our max health on Deathclaw was 12,000, so knocked off 4,000, actually more than that because we were damaged. But as you can see here, we're taking damage very slowly. Yeah. Also, those Terracotta Sentinels definitely are a concern. So the Sky Junk's doing nothing to us. Because yeah, when you make a one-man Doomstack that's got the Nemesis crown, what you want to be doing is just getting into combat so they all just swarm around you. So they've got 40 units on the battlefield at the moment. We need to clear out some so that they can bring in some more. Because I reckon the best way that we could get rid of the Terracotta Sentinels is by army lossing them. So focus in on the infantry, and hopefully that'll be enough. Yeah, we are doing some damage to them, but it's just not getting a chance to properly hit them. And there's a lot of Terracotta Sentinels here. Again, it's good that we're small, because only so many of them can hit us at a time, which they're not getting any major hits in at the moment. But in melee, Karl Franz is probably not landing any hits on them. Looks like we hit that Celestial Lion. There's no way that would take that much damage from the Mortis Engine effect.
Ready for war.
Also, good thing they don't have a Talus, what's it called, a Trickster's, the other Trickster's Shard, because that would strip away some of your resistance. Right, let's have a look to see how much damage the Terracotta Sentinels are actually doing to us. Okay, that one hasn't landed a hit yet. And that one hasn't either. And that one hasn't either. Could be clicking the same ones, hard to tell. That one did 2 damage. Okay, so they're not doing any damage to us. And, you know, they're going down. But yeah, this one's been suffering from Mortis Engine effect pretty much the entire time. See, oh, there's Miao Ying as well. Another better potential one-man, one-woman Doomstack than Karl Franz, but not in this case here because she doesn't have. Oh shit, her combat stats are better than yours. Holy crap! Why is she so damn good? God damn! I mean, she doesn't have loads of ward save, but shit! Look at that. God damn. I'm getting Imric envy right there. Well, at least she's kind of staying out of it.
The Empire endures. This is my command.
Okay, yeah, she should probably focus on her. I gotta see what she's wearing. If she survives the battle. Jeez. Right, so this here is providing a lot of melee defense to all of them. So to make it harder for him to land hits.
That's an order.
Alright, so she's gone into her dragon form, which actually, I think in this situation here, kind of makes her weaker. Because for one thing, she can't cast healing spells. Another thing, she's too big. Which makes her easier to hit. I think she did lose a lot of melee defense by doing that. Okay, yeah, loads of single entities. So strong opponent for sure. But yeah, we're in good shape. There's not a whole lot of infantry left to come in either.
To me, man.
Yeah, Deathclaw would have really struggled with all of this. This would have taken so much more damage. So even though you've got more health, like, let's just put it this way. You get 50% more health, but we end up taking like 300% more damage. So we've actually kind of got more health with Karl Franz. I'd like on foot. So the main damage that we do is when they bring in their infantry.
The Empire endures. To arms, men. My subjects call.
Alright, we've done 200,000 damage. He's taking a little bit of damage himself. But we still got regen, so we're okay.
See to it.
It's not going to do a hell of a lot to the single entities. Yeah, he just landed a hit on this one here. But it's hard to control them in this state here because they just keep moving around everywhere. It's a goddamn mosh pit. So just, just let him hit wherever he can. Because sometimes if you tell him to attack something and he can't reach it, he's just going to keep trying to push towards them. And if you don't give him any order, he'll just hit whatever's around him. Which could be an infantry unit, but at least he'll hit something. It's one of those things where having super fast micro is totally fucking useless here. It's not going to make any difference. In fact, it could be detriment. Yeah, slowly getting rid of them, but they are going down. We still got more regen left.
This is my command. That's an order.
So we're looking at Miao Ying. She's... Yeah, her combat stats have gone down a fair bit. Because she's exhausted. But we've got perfect vigor, so that's not affecting us at all.
We are Sigmar's heirs. Obey.
Okay, so far so good.
For Altdorf.
That's not going to hit us.
Ready for war. Yes.
Yeah, prioritize Miao Ying. She's probably the one doing all the damage to him. Let's have a look. She's doing some damage to him. That one's doing a bit.
Karl, Franz.
Terracotta Sentinels. Yeah, each of them doing just a little bit of damage here and there. Nothing too concerning.
My rule is absolute. Sigmar call.
Good. When we actually get a hit on Miao Ying, absolutely chunks her health right down. That's pretty much a miss right there.
The Empire endures.
Good. Another big hit.
My subjects call.
Good. One lord down.
War!
Now, there are exceptions to the rule about having a big mouse. So when we were playing with Tamarkan, right, I didn't put him on foot. Now the reason for that is because when you put him on foot, he's still fucking huge anyway, because he's an ogre. And his mount, the plague toad, not plague toad, the toad dragon, it's fast enough and on the ground that its charging bonus and the mass that it has, we just push through everything. And also the enemy that we're going up against being the dwarfs, it was easy to do that. But if we had used Tamarkan here, we might have struggled a fair bit because they would have shot the shit out of us on the approach. And then these single entities would have done a lot more damage than what they're doing to Karl Franz. And like I said, whether I put him on foot or not wouldn't have made that big of a difference. Whereas with Karl Franz, big difference between him on foot and being on Deathclaw. Is Miao Ying still around or did we get her? There she is. Kind of wanted her to survive so that I can check her equipment. And we're in pretty good shape, so one more hit would definitely kill her. And let's see, with that kind of melee attack now, she's not doing very much to him. I don't think. Let me have a look here. Yeah, she's not getting proper hits in. But if she just hangs around here, she's definitely going to die just from the Mortis Engine effect, if nothing else. So we'll hit her, but it's very likely that she's going to get killed one way or another. Pretty safe bet that she's wearing her unique equipment. It's just that her stats seemed particularly high at the beginning of the battle, but it might have just been just due to other things boosting her. Because it's not so bad now. One more hit and she's gone. All that time in there, she didn't land another single hit. There we go, she's doing on. And these ones up here, you know, slowly taking damage, but can't do anything else about them. Good, we haven't been hitting so long. Oh look, we're at our regen cap. We're actually starting to get our barrier back. Obviously using the sword of cane on them is also useless since they can't land. Good, the Terracotta Sentinels are gone now, and it's these whooshing war compasses, which, yeah, I don't think they're going to do very much.
Get them! This is my command! Attack! Very well! That's an order!
Fucking hits him. Okay, now he is. Good. Alright, so they got some artillery over here. So, I mean, they're not going to do anything to us. It's just that they'll be worth a lot of bounce power. I'm ready for the battle to end now. But, taking out these Shangu war drums, they're worth a decent amount of bounce power. Okay, down to a bit army lost. Cool. So yeah, that was actually not that difficult. Actually, hang on a second. If we've got 85 extra barrier and we've only got the Talisman of Preservation, what's it called, the Trickster's Helm, you must have increased his health by more than 85%, because obviously a little bit of it is lost because of his lost health. You must have an increase of 90% of your health. Interesting. Or whatever the exact number is that it reduces your health by when you switch out your heroes. All I know is that the more health augments that you've got, the more damage you'll get every time you switch out your mount, and the more health you'll restore every time you save and load the game. It also actually works when you go in and out of battles. So we'll notice here we've actually got more health, ever so slightly, than what we actually ended the battle in. It's just a bug. It's gonna happen no matter what we do with that bug. Because, like, what are you just gonna do? Never quit out of the game?
Summon the Elector Count.
Oh, what am I doing? So yeah, we had a little bit less health than that when we got into the fight. But cool. Yeah, so this is basically a 10 out of 10 for a one-man Doom stack. Apart from the fact that you've got the Sword of Cain, which comes with its own problems, but the Empire can handle it, I guess. You got plenty of money, no big deal. In my opinion, it's the Nemesis Crown that provides the greatest amount of value. But you do need that ward save from the Sword of Cain if you want to get this much ward save with Karl Franz. Now, we wounded What's-Her-Face, so she won't be here to have a look at it. But yeah, well done with the amount of effort to do that, especially while also maintaining zero defeat campaign. That would have been a massive pain in the ass, which explains why you're 150 turns into it. But anyway, that's it. This one here, because it's not a disaster or anything, obviously. Yeah, if you keep Karl Franz on foot, there's basically nothing that can beat him. You know, short of another one-man Doom stack, which how are you ever going to encounter another one-man Doom stack? Because you've got the Sword of Cain and the Nemesis Crown. I guess if you ever lost the Nemesis Crown, someone else got it. I mean, still, even then, they'd have to be strong enough to handle you with the Sword of Cain. So it'd have to be a very strong character that picked it up. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.